Hey everybody, Kat here. Welcome to the channel. Hope you're having a great day. At least a better one than the Duke and Duchess of Desperation. It's Wednesday morning, and the last 48 hours has been pretty rough on Harry and Meghan, I would say. Of course, on the back of just the ball up that the launch of the As Ever products, we learned that, there might not even exist. She sent a few boxes to like Kris Jenner and this and that, but as far as being available for the public, no. I mean, the minute it was out, she put up a posting, oh, we're all sold out of everything. Lost leader, they never had it in the beginning. It was just to create a buzz and collect your emails and data mining. That's what it's all about. And that's all she can do with her non-products. And on the back of a failed launch, we have another launch, Lemonada. Confessions of a Female Fraudster debuted the other day, and she interviewed a real entrepreneur, a real businesswoman. But as is the case with her original Archetypes podcast, we don't learn anything from this CEO. Meghan turns it all about herself again, as she always does. At one point, the guest was talking about how in the middle of her career, and she's having children, and she had a terrible experience after the birth of a child with postpartum preeclampsia, which is a very serious condition. Very serious condition. She's telling us her challenges. So what does Meghan do? Oh, I did too. And it was so scary. Unbelievable. First of all, like I've been saying all along, there are no children. And when we're talking about this, in the case of Lily, I mean, my God, there's been 1,000 podcasts about this already. But it's worth repeating. Right from the moon bump wiggling and moving, and her being able to crouch to the ground. I mean, the whole malignancy, the whole thing was fake. Then we get to the birth of Lily. Well, Harry tells us in Spare that he's, during labor, he's sucking on the gas that is meant for her pain relief, and that, he goes through one canister of gas and has to have the midwife or nurse or whatever bring him another one. Wouldn't happen. That would not happen in a hospital. Private or not, prince or not, that would not happen. They go on to tell us that Meghan had an epidural during the birth to relieve the pain. Now, if you know what an epidural is, it is localized freezing they inject into your lower back, and it numbs you from the tummy down. We hear that, 2 hours after the birth, Meghan's back at home. Well, after an epidural, you're not walking for hours. You can't stand on your feet. Your legs are jelly. Notwithstanding, now we hear that, she had preeclampsia too. A hospital would never release someone suffering those kind of symptoms and those issues would never be released in 2 hours. They'd be kept for observation and make sure everything is okay and that no further procedures are needed. So just like everything, it's a lie from start to finish. The podcast, she is going to do the same thing with every guest, no doubt. We can tell now. There's absolutely no difference between this one and the old Archetypes podcast. She injects herself. It's all about her. It's going to be the same darn thing. More lies, more manipulation. I don't think people are going to tune in. She just keeps doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting new results. The ratings for this podcast, I haven't seen anything above a 2-star. Nobody likes it. It's the same drivel all over again. That's all that she can do. So this is going to be a real challenge for Megan to hold up her head and not blame everybody else for the failure of this podcast. And now we get to Harry. Oh my God. He's in Britain right now. He arrived the other day for a 2-day hearing in court. He has launched an appeal against the Ravek decision regarding his security when he's in Britain. You know, he wants the super duper A1 security even more than his father gets every time he's in Britain. And really, if he's allowed that kind of status, he'd get that wherever he goes. So, you know, this, and it's an ego thing, it's a status thing. Megan wants the 2 motorcycle outriders and 4 armed cars around. She wants the motorcade. She wants to feel that important. And we know it's a status thing simply by, you know, a statement that his lawyer made. Shahid Fatima told the court that Harry had been singled out for different, unjustified, and inferior treatment. Well, he is different and inferior, so I don't see what, but anyway, I mean, the judge, over the course of the 2 days of hearings, admonished Fatima more than once, telling her her arguments and the case law she was using to make her arguments were too broad, that this situation with a prince of the realm and his specific security does not have the same, it's not the same as the arguments that she's trying to make in much broader context, you know. So the hearings are done. I imagine Harry will be flying back to the States almost immediately. The hearings are done. We won't expect a judgment for a while. I don't know if it's going to be a matter of weeks, days, months. I'm sure all parties want this resolved quickly. My gut feeling is that they're not going to award it to Harry. I think the decision is going to stand. And this is going to put him in a spiral, and it's going to put Megan in a spiral. And I mean, I've been saying this for quite a long time, for months really, that we are starting to see the spiral. We're starting to see the death spiral of the whole Meghan and Harry machine is coming apart at the seams. Nothing sticks. They can't do anything right. A lot of that is just their own reasons that they've created on their own. You know, I mean, from as ever, the garbage gem and the overpriced stuff, and none of it is hers. She's bought it, sourced it all somewhere else, and just stitched this together. It's a joke. It really is. And then nothing's for sale. Well, the reason's nothing's for sale, and she had to do the bait and switch on her site, was that none of the trademarks have been approved. None of the FDA food regulation, none of that has been approved. So you can't legally sell things. There's rules. If I mean, and I realize this is the States, but same and even maybe worse in Canada, food service stuff, if I wanted to sell food out of, that I had made at home, and I want to sell it in a store, and I take samples to a supermarket, and you want to sell my product, these are the best cookies ever, and even if they like them, I would be to sell something commercially that you've made at home. Food, there has to be inspections, there's regulations, right down to the size of the sink you need, and everything. None of that. She's got none of that. It's fake. It's all she knows how to do, and I've said it how many times, it's all optics. Look, I've got a fabulous business. I've got honey and flowers and crepe mix, and none of it's real. It's a big game of pretend. She's just out there telling you she's doing all of this, whereas other companies are actually producing things and doing things. All she can show you. This is just another acting job for Megan. And she's a crappy actress. So it's not, unbelievable from the start. So as ever is just as awful as ever. The whole thing is a scam. Her Lemonada podcast, Confessions of a Female Fraudster, it's not going to go anywhere either. These two are just being pilloried in the press for their bad attitude and crappy attempts at business. And I mean, these two are just the most pathetic pair on the go. They really are. And there's no love lost between them and the Pellis anymore. They're not going to get any support from the king. And that is why I think this whole Ravik decision, I think we'll find that that the judge is going to find that Harry doesn't need this level of attention anymore, and he's not going to give it to him. And I do believe after this that the chance to appeal again is gone. I think this is really the last shot at it that Harry has. I could be wrong, but I think so. And so a lot does weigh in the balance towards their future. Quite frankly, I don't think the British public or the royal family will put up with his behavior and his insistence on getting everything he wants. I think they're done with him, and I think that we're going to see a decision that reflects this very soon. Anyway, those are my thoughts over the last couple of days. Hope you enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, hit that notification button so you know when I am posting and you don't miss another one. And we will see you in the next one. Leave me a comment. Talk to you later.